on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, y'all. It's I'm Not Gonna Hold You, Season 3. We are here. It is Thursday, September 8th, 2022. Welcome to a new season. We're going to be going live to you every Monday and Thursday during this NFL season. Of course, I'm your host, Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarbChairScott. Follow this amazing media group that this show is on, HNB Media at HNB Media TV and at HNB Media on Instagram. And, of course, follow the Barbers Chair Network at Barbers Chair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. And, of course, visit our new website, thebcnet.com. The new Barbers Chair store will be launching by the end of the year is what we're aiming for, man. So look out for that, man. It's been a couple months since the last time we talked. Shout out to each and every one of y'all who checked out my off-season series this year, which was a 6-part series. Shout out to everybody who I interviewed. Jeff Pearlman of Winning Time. Randy Wilkins, director of Derek Jeter's 30 for 30, the captain, my guy Mike, CEO and founder of Pillars Fashion Group, Andrew Barber of Facial Drive, my guy Merk Murphy, Complex 2010. Yeah, man, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. It's been a good time. So I'm really excited to get in tune with y'all today, man. I am on location here in Chicago because I'm here my second full season covering the Chicago Bears. I'll be doing these first 3 games in the city. So I'll be back in the studio sometime in October. We're going to be doing a mix this season. So like on Mondays, you can expect me to be in the studio. And on Thursdays, we're going to be more virtual, man. So look out for that. It's going to be a full season. And we got a lot of storylines to get into, man. So let's just get right into it, man, with our sound off. The NFL is back. The National Football League is back, man. First game we've had since the Super Bowl, which was back in February, which, of course, the Los Angeles Rams won the Super Bowl championship with a win. Very close win over the Cincinnati Bengals. It was a real fun season. Very entertaining offseason, man. I don't think we've seen this much movement from major players in the NFL, really, in maybe ever. It was really like an NBA type of offseason for the NFL, man. So that was pretty fun to see. And there's a lot of things that I'm looking forward to. Of course, we had also we have controversy during the offseason too, man. How can we forget the whole Deshaun Watson scandal? Of course, he will be suspended for 12 games. So that's going to be something that the Browns fans are going to have to deal with early on. So, but let's just get into my storylines, man. I got 3 storylines, top 3 storylines that I feel that a lot of talking heads, a lot of people, fans are talking about coming into this season. Number 3, is this Tom Brady's final season? Now, all of you know I'm a big Tom Brady fan. He's actually my favorite player, the GOAT. He retired. He retired like in February, and that retirement lasts for 40 days. Now, we don't know if it was a thing where he was just tired of being around them kids or Giselle was tired of his ass being around. I don't know which one it was, but the GOAT came back 40 days later and is now back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I kind of feel like this is a guy who's tired coming into the season. Just the way he's been moving around and in the off season and even missing training camp, which training camp isn't a big deal for him. Like, he's been at training camps since I was in 6th grade. So like he told the reporters, like, I play football pretty well. I'm sure I'll be fine. So, but I'm really starting thinking this might be the last season because it's kind of like one of the first couple tracks on the Black Album. What more can I say? What else is there for Tom Brady to say? I mean, he had a career year last year in his 21st, 22nd season. The man is 45 years old. He's robbed of MVP. Aaron Rodgers won MVP because we throwing balls out of bounds instead of getting interceptions. You're not fucking low. I know exactly what you're doing, Rodgers. But, over 5,000 yards passing, 40-something touchdowns. He's incredible. He should have been the MVP. But he has 7 championships. He has every passing record known to man. He's just going to continue to stack on that passing record to where it's going to be damn near impossible for one of these young quarterbacks to live up and pass that. But I just feel like this is a guy who just, kind of wants to go out on it. Not to say he didn't go out on his own terms last year, but it was kind of sudden. And I think this is going to be something that maybe even halfway through the season, he'll come out and be like, yo, this is my final year. And he gets that little, swan song that a lot of people get, Peyton Manning got, Drew Brees got, and if them 2 got it, he definitely deserves. So that to me is the biggest question mark here. I mean, the Buccaneers, we'll get into that later during my NFC South breakdown. But there's a lot of question marks around this Bucks team too. And even though it is a weak NFC this year, kind of like the JV league of the NFL, there will be a chance and opportunity to get back to the Super Bowl. And anytime you have Tom Brady, you're going to be right there in that fight. But I do think there's a good chance that this will be the last time we see Thomas Brady Jr. in the NFL. Now, let's get into our second storyline of this NFL season, and that's the wild AFC West, man. The AFC West got crazy during the offseason. Patrick Mahomes, he lost his best weapon in Tyreek Hill, who got traded to Miami. And he now he has guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and a lot of guys who we're not really used to seeing, in Kansas City. And that's going to be a question mark on how he's going to be able to bounce back without one of his top two weapons. Of course, Travis Kelce still will be there. And, of course, what's going on in Vegas with the Raiders, my guy, Davante Adams, I can openly stand for Davante Adams. Now, anybody know who listens to 2 Minute Drill or watch this show, y'all know that I love Davante Adams. I had to be a quiet stand because he had that boof-ass Packers jersey on. But now he is back in the black hole. He is playing with his college teammate, Derek Carr. And that's going to be, a little interesting tandem there right now. How that's going to go. I feel like that defense is looking pretty good. So you've got that. And you've got the second tenant at SoFi Stadium, and that is the Los Angeles Chargers. Year 3 for my man Justin Herbert. They re-signed Derwin James. Derwin James is the number 1 highest paid safety in the NFL. They got a lot of great enforcements. They got Khalil Mack from the Chicago Bears. I'm glad that the Bears were able to trade him to a contender. And also, of course, they got Joey Bosa still. They got a stacked defense that's just going to get better. And this is year 2 under Brandon Staley. They had a chance to get to the playoffs last year if Brandon Staley didn't jag it in the last couple minutes. And there's one thing about the Chargers always do Chargers shit at the end. It takes them out of favorable position. So we're going to see, have they learned from their mistakes? Can Khalil Mack play a full season? How this is going to look? They're definitely a threat in this division. And, of course, we all know what happened in Denver. That was the first real big domino to fall this offseason with the guy, Russell Wilson. Broncos country. Let's ride. The one and only Russell Wilson was traded to the Denver Broncos. And this is the thing that the Broncos and Broncos fans have been looking at for the last couple of years. They're like, yo, we've got a good team. We've got a great defense. We've got young wide receivers. We got a solid running game. We just need a quarterback. They haven't had a quarterback since Peyton Manning in 2015. If you want to keep it a buck, they really ain't had a quarterback since 2014 because 2015 was the ghost of Peyton Manning. That defense, Von Miller, and they won that Super Bowl that year. So it's been a while since they've had a quarterback in Denver. So is Russ gonna come in and instantly elevate this team to a contender in this tough ass division? I don't know. There's a lot of question marks for that. This is easily going to be the most exciting division in football. All these matchups are going to be fun, and I'm really looking forward to it, man. But the number 1 storyline coming into this season is actually the game we've got tonight. It is the defending Super Bowl champion Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. I can't believe I said defending Super Bowl champion Matthew Stafford. I never thought those 5 words would come out of my mouth ever, but we are here. And they are opening up at SoFi Stadium tonight. They'll be getting their championship rings. I will give you my prediction of that game later in this show, and I will be taking count. We're gonna have a tally on here during the season. We can see how right my predictions be, because I didn't write all that shit down last year, and I probably should have, but I digress. But they are opening up tonight with a new team, a stacked team. The champs got even better during the off season by signing all-pro linebacker, maybe a top 3 linebacker in the league. And I just lost my man. These are the joys of going live. But anyway, they got Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner from the Seattle Seahawks. They got him, and that's going to be a big addition to that. Aaron Donald's going to be back. He just got him a new contract. Jalen Ramsey, the best cornerback in the league. Now you've got a guy in Bobby Wagner who's in the middle of a guy who I feel is the best player in football in Aaron Donald, and a top corner in Jalen Ramsey. That defense is not going to lose any steps that they had last season. And now you've given Matthew Stafford even more weapons. Now, Van Jefferson will be out tonight. That dropped just a couple hours ago, which is why I'm glad we're doing live shows this season, because I wanted to be more up to date on what's going on in the sports world. And I forgot to say this earlier at the beginning of the pod. There will be no audio version, no podcast versions of the show. If you missed the show, you can just go back and watch the YouTube. It will be on the HNB Media YouTube channel, and it will be on the bcnet.com. So just to get that out the way. But yeah, Van Jefferson will be out tonight, but you still got the man Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP, arguably the best wide receiver in the game. And now you've got a guy, even though Odell Beckham, hasn't been re-signed because of his ACL injury. We don't know if he's going to come back to the Rams late season. You got Allen Robinson. Now, my personal thoughts on Allen Robinson is that he quit on the Chicago Bears, and nobody can convince me otherwise. I was at majority of them games last year. I saw quit, but I think he's going to be a great addition to this team. You give Matthew Stafford another weapon, and this is by far going to be Allen Robinson's best quarterback. Allen Robinson has been a great wide receiver for some bum-ass teams. He was a great wide receiver in Jacksonville, and outside of last season, he was great for the Bears. And this is the thing where I feel like he's really going to thrive as a number 2 option in this system. And they've already got great tight ends. Their running backs are both healthy. This is going to be a big opportunity for the Los Angeles Rams repeat. We haven't had a repeat champion in 18 seasons. Last time was 2004. Brady, Brewski, Belichick, McGinnis, Corey Dillon, all those guys when they beat the Eagles. So is this going to be the first time we see a repeat? They have a good chance. And on the other side, we've got the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills have probably the most pressure out of any team in the National Football League this year, barely losing that AFC divisional playoff game to the Kansas City Chiefs last season. You got Josh Allen, who is leading Vegas in MVP favors. And, now they've got Von Miller. Gave him a nice deal. He's coming over from the Super Bowl champions. And it kind of feels like if it's not this year from the Bills, when will it be? So even though there's pressure on the Rams, I think there's way more pressure on the Bills. And how many times is when you're an overwhelming Super Bowl favorite, does that overwhelming Super Bowl favorite actually win the championships? That's something they're going to have to fight. They have a pretty tough schedule this year, so it's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to go. But these are the number 2 stories to me with as far as who's going to be who's going to be the main guy coming into this season. So that's really going to be something I'm really interested on seeing. But also, let's get into our preview. Now. We're going to start off with the AFC. So the AFC, I believe, is the elite conference right now in football, man, because they've got all the best teams. They've had all the main additions this year. So we're going to do it division by division. I'm not really going to give like my standings on who's going to finish second, third, and fourth, but I will give you who I got in as far as winning each division. So let's start with the AFC East. Last year, the Buffalo Bills won the AFC East with an 11-6 record. The New England Patriots finished very close second at 10-7. This is a division that got a lot of stories. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you got the Buffalo Bills being the overwhelming Super Bowl favorite. You got New England. What's Mac Jones going to look like in year 2? Bill Belichick's been dealing with a lot of questions this season, not naming an offensive coordinator, losing Josh McDaniels to the Raiders. How's that gonna go? You've got the Miami Dolphins, Tua in his first full, in his first full year as a starter with a new offense around him. They've got Jalen Waddle. They traded for Tyreek Hill. Is he gonna be able to guy who's gonna be able to give that ball to Tyreek Hill? There's a lot of question marks about Tua's arm strength. I got question marks about Tua's arm strength. I think even the Dolphins did. That's why they put out that little preseason video like, yo, he can throw more than 10 yards down the field. And then we've got the New York Jets, who they had a very impressive draft. I was at the draft in Vegas this year, and they did pretty good getting Garrett Williams from Ohio State, getting Sauce Gardner. But the main question coming into this team with a year 2 under Robert Saleh is, how is Zach Wilson going to be the franchise quarterback who I thought had a pretty decent rookie year? And then out of all these rookie quarterbacks, I think Mac Jones had the best year, but Mac Jones was probably in the best system, being paired up with the greatest coach of all time. So this is a new thing for Zach Wilson. But the main problem is Zach Wilson has, in my opinion, an injury I would call the kiss of death, which is a bone bruise in his knee, and he's going to be out at least the first 4 games. That's what Coach Robert Saleh said in a press conference yesterday. So he will not be on the field this upcoming Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. It will be Joe Flacco in a possible revenge game. So that's going to be something to look forward to. But I think this division is all about the Bills. It's all about the Bills. I mean, it's really the Bills division to lose. It's the Bills conference to lose. It's the Bills Super Bowl to lose. This is the year of the Buffalo Bills. And I'm putting all my money on Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a quarterback who I was not that confident in coming into his career. He just couldn't throw that good to me. He got better at that. He got better 2 years ago. Last year was his best season of the year. Now you got to take over. Now there's expectations for you. There's expectations for this team. This defense is going to take a hit with your Davis Wright out for a little bit. We don't know exactly how long he's going to be out, but you do not want to start the season off with that guy out. But I do think that they're going to win 14 games. They won 11 last year. I'm going to say they win 14 this year. I think they'll go 14-3, and I think that they're going to win this division. But I do think it's going to be a thing. They're not going to run away with it, but I don't think that it's going to be as close as it was last year. I do think that New England's going to take a step back. I think that with more film, that we're just going to be looking at Mac Jones as just a game manager, which is going to be a far cry from what they had, obviously, with the GOAT there. And I'm just not sold on Tua. I think Miami's going to be exciting. I think they'll be interesting to see what Mike McDaniels got with that offense, but I'm not a Tua guy. I just don't really think that man can throw that well. So I don't think he's going to be able to live up to that pressure. I think it's going to be a different thing when Tyreek Hill is breaking, routes and he's wide ass open. You got a quarterback that can't get on the ball. I think there's going to be a lot of frustration with that. And with the Jets, I'm nervous about Zach Wilson's bone bruise. I mean, you even look in basketball. I mean, Kendrick Nunn has been out for 2 years. Lonzo Ball had surgery almost a year ago, and he still ain't played. He's going to miss all the training camp in the beginning of the actual regular season, and that's basketball. So I can only imagine when you're a quarterback and it's football, it's a more aggressive sport, that's going to be something you don't want to play with. So I am going to go with the Buffalo Bills to win this division. I'm going to say with about 14 wins. Now, let's go into the AFC North, man. The AFC North is home to the defending reigning AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. Another thing that we didn't think we'll say, I mean, a lot of people didn't expect the Bengals to be as good as they were last year, especially with, that bad offensive line they had. Joe Burrow was coming off a serious knee injury. Jamar Chase is a guy that didn't have the best preseason. A lot of people was questioning him, and they just came out and they had a great season, a really great 6 weeks, great performances by Burrow and Chase down the stretch, and great performances, not just in the end of the regular season, but in the playoffs. They dominated, even had a chance to win the Super Bowl. They had their moments, and I think this is going to be the year of Joey B. I think, this is going to be a guy who I feel is going to be a top 2 quarterback in this league, and will be in that Mahomes Allen territory. I'm not going to put him in there yet. I want to see him do it again. We got to see now there's pressure on you. And I do think that, the rest of this division, you got to look at, the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to have Lamar Jackson back, but we don't even know if Lamar's going to be playing week 1. We know we put that hard deadline on them saying, I want to deal with y'all, with the team. I want my deal before week 1 starts. Week 1 starts in about tonight, and their game is in 72 hours. We don't know. That deal hasn't come yet. So we don't know, is he gonna sit out? Is he gonna play? Even if he does play, that's gonna be hovering over them like a cloud. Can he stay healthy? A lot of questions for them. But I do think that they're going to be competitive and they will have a shot to win this division. The Cleveland Browns, I mean, they pretty much sold. They sold their soul this offseason. Giving that contract to Deshaun Watson. Let's not sit up here and say, we all know Deshaun Watson is just off football, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. That's not even a discussion. When this guy actually is playing, he's elite. Now, he hasn't played in 3 years. He's going to miss the first 12 games of the season. He can't even report to the facility till like November. So this is going to be something where Jacoby Brissett is a cool backup. This is not a guy you want carrying you for 8-9 for 12 weeks, really. And he gets hurt a lot. I think the Browns are going to finish, not at the bottom of the division because the next team I'm going to bring out will. But this is going to be kind of a lost season for them. Because even when Deshaun comes back in week 13, this is a guy who hasn't played football in 3 years. So you just don't go in there and you automatically just firing all cylinders. I don't care who you are. So it's going to take a minute for him, not just to get used to playing the game again, but get used to this new system by Kevin Stefanski. So I think that, this season is going to be ruined, but going in the future, I think the Browns on the football field, let me clarify, on the football field have a bright future with this nasty motherfucker at quarterback. But the team that I feel will finish last will be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, there's a lot of Steelers fans out there, and they're happy. They're excited. Oh, Mitch Trubisky has a new shot. You got Kenny Pickens, a guy who we drafted. He's going to be coming. The only saving grace here is that you do have Kenny Pickens. And that not if, but when Mitchell Trubisky fucks up. Because that nice, cold, iceberg of reality named Mitchell David Trubisky is going to hit, and it's going to hit very soon. You at least have a fallback plan in Kenny Pickett. Even though he is third on the depth chart, let's cut the shit. He will play before Mason Rudolph, in my personal opinion. Now, I love Mike Tomlin. He's my favorite coach in the league. He could convince me to jump off a building. That's how motivational Mike Tomlin is. He's going to have probably the most frustrating year of all time when you see this motherfucker throwing the football. And I just want to be clear about the national coverage of the Chicago Bears. When Mitchell Trubisky was on the Bears, I couldn't watch a game. I couldn't watch a highlight right here. They took Mitchell Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes. But now he's on the other team. Now all of a sudden this nigga know how to throw. It's just stuff that just don't make sense to me. Now he's getting all the love and it's a new situation. Now, granted, the Steelers are a way more functional organization than the Chicago Bears. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like they not. But when you have to bring up how likable a guy is, that tells you that, hey, Your Honor, this nigga can't throw the ball. So that's something that I think a lot of people are just, they're giving him grace for no reason. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be terrible and will finish at the end of this division. But I got the Cincinnati Bengals winning this one. They won 10 games last year. I think we can bump that up by 3. I'm going to give them 13 wins this year, and I think they will win the AFC North. Now let's go to the AFC South, which is not an exciting division. It's ugly, to be quite honest with you. The Tennessee Titans, they lost Julio Jones. They also lost AJ Brown, and they traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles. He got a nice contract over there. So, Ryan Tannehill doesn't really have any options this year. The Houston Texans, of course, they lost Deshaun Watson. They're having a rebuilding year under their young quarterback, Lovie Smith's first year back in the NFL since that Tampa gig. I'm rooting for Lovie. I love Lovie. I hope he does well. I'm rooting for him, not just because he is the most winningest Bears coach in my lifetime. Well, actually, it's not in my life. Dick was in my lifetime too, but I was like fucking 5 when he got fired, but whatever. So he's been great. And I also root for black coaches, man. So hopefully he doesn't come a scapegoat for them being ass this year. And then you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is an interesting team. They won 3 games last year. I don't think that win total is going to move that much. I know you got Doug Peterson in there, second chance for him. How is he going to be able to build with Trevor Lawrence? This is like a new year for Trevor Lawrence. Last year, he was terribly coached, putting God awful positions. This guy, to me, is the most talented quarterback in the NFL. And I do think that 5 years from now, we're going to have the conversation of, like we all said, it's going to be Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. And I'm just not saying this because I'm a Bears fan. Justin Fields is going to make a lot of motherfuckers pay this year. I'm telling you right now. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to look at Justin like we shouldn't have passed him up. And I feel like both of these quarterbacks have an opportunity to step up. Now, I do feel that obviously Trevor Lawrence is going to be with a more proven guy and Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia. You got, Coach Eberflus and Lou Getsy, who are with Justin, who are first timers in their job. So they're going to have a little bit more to prove. But I feel like the Jaguars also fucked up the wide receiver market this year, overpaying Christian Kirk. They got some cool guys. I think this is going to be a good year for Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to really improve, have a good season. But the actual team, I don't think I will see much for them. Maybe 5 wins. But that's how I feel about the Jaguars. The winner of this division, I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. Colts barely missed the playoffs last year, finishing 9-8 because Carson Wentz put up one of the worst quarterback performances you will ever see in your life. Losing to the Jaguars, by the way. And they got rid of him, shipped him to Washington, and they traded for Mr. Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan is going to be a new system, with Frank Reich. And I've always been a Matt Ryan guy. I never liked the hate that he got from Atlanta Falcons fans towards the end of his career in Atlanta. This guy is a this guy is an MVP. This guy led his team in Super Bowl, and they did not lose the Super Bowl because of him. He had a great game. If they won that game, he's easily Super Bowl MVP. They lost because Shanahan was like, hey, I'm not going to run the football when I have a 25-point lead on the greatest quarterback of all time. Let me not run the football. It wasn't his fault. And I always feel like he got the bad end of the stick, and now he's in a new situation, a team that has arguably the best running back in football, and Jonathan Taylor, a real good defense. You got Shaq Lawrence back, Shaq back there, anchoring the linebacking core. I think they're going to be really good. They won 9 games last year. I think I'm going to give them 12 this year, and I think the Indianapolis Colts will win the AFC South, and they'll be representing that division in the playoffs. Now, The last division is the AFC West, the big division I brought up earlier in my top storylines. Who's going to win the Wild Wild West? I broke down the division earlier, so I don't have to go down, all the additions. But Kansas City won this division last year, 12-5. The Raiders finished about 2 games behind at 10-7. I think that Kansas City's going to win again. I like petty Patrick Mahomes. I like a challenged Patrick Mahomes. I like a slightly disrespected Patrick Mahomes. You got defensive coordinators out here talking shit, but won't put their name on the comment. He's not a real quarterback. He's a street ball quarterback. And yes, he lost Tyreek Hill, but Juju Smith-Schuster isn't a bad wide receiver. He just be goofy. Marquez Valdez-Scantling was one of Aaron Rodgers' best threats last year. Trust me, as a Bears fan, I know he kicked our ass on multiple opportunities. So now you're with a guy who's even better than Aaron Rodgers. And let's not forget about Mr. Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is his number one weapon, not Tyreek Hill. He's going to be back, and we cannot doubt Andy Reid. Now, they did lose some guys on defense. Lost Honey Badger, who was one of the defensive anchors to New Orleans Saints. That's going to be a blow. But I think that Patrick Mahomes has been taking notes all offseason, and we're going to see a side of Patrick Mahomes that we haven't seen, and I think they're still going to win this division. Now, I think I'm actually going to pick them with the same record. I think they will stay at 12-5. It's going to be much closer. I do think the Chargers will be right up on their ass, but I do think they will have enough to win this division. And don't sleep on Patrick Mahomes, man. I'm going to keep telling y'all, don't do this. I do think the Chargers and the Raiders will be in competition. They'll make the playoffs. My hot take in this division, the Denver Broncos missed the playoffs. And it's not because I don't believe in Russell Wilson. I love Russell Wilson. I actually like that nice team they have in Denver. But I don't think they're going to get it done in year one. And one of the things that Russell Wilson has to get over, he's a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer, no questions asked. In my opinion, the best black quarterback that we have so far. Now, Patrick Mahomes has an opportunity to pass that, but if we just look at accolades so far, I'm going with Russell Wilson just because of longevity. But I don't feel like you can just plug and place in and just win this tough ass division this quickly. I could be wrong. He might shut me up. But one thing Russ does, he looks like an MVP candidate for 8 weeks, and then he falls off the face of the earth. You can't afford that in this tough division. So that's going to be something that I think he's got to stay on full time. He's coming in with a first-time head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, even though he was the offensive coordinator in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. But let's keep it a buck. I think I could be Aaron Rodgers' offensive coordinator. But they have some question marks there, too. So I'm just going with the steady hand in the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chargers, they got to convince me that they don't do some Chargers shit. And as much as I like the Raiders' makeup, I love Devontae Adams there. Derek Carr is still throwing you the football. Now, I don't think Derek Carr is bad. I think he's a good quarterback, but he's in that mid-tier. He's like in that Kirk Cousins tier. So he has a lot to prove to me before I feel like they can actually go out there and win this division. So I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this division. So let's go over to the NFC now, which I like to call the JV League of the NFL. Not a lot of star power in this one this year. Now we're going to go with the funniest division in football, which is the NFC East, or the NFC Least, as we like to call it on Twitter. The Dallas Cowboys, man, they won this division last year at 12-5, had a really good season, and did not do anything come playoff time, like we all know, in peak Cowboys tradition. Traded Amari Cooper. Why? I have no fucking idea. Traded Amari Cooper to the Cleveland Browns. A lot of injuries. Tyron Smith is going to be out for the rest of the season. Jerry Jones said, well, he'll be back in the playoffs. I'm glad that you think that you might be in that motherfucker. But they're going to take a huge step back, man. They're going to take a huge step back. And I've got the Philadelphia Eagles winning this division. Now, let me be clear. I'm not the biggest Jalen Hurts guy either. A lot of quarterbacks out there got to prove to me that they can throw. I still want to know, can Jalen Hurts make the necessary throws to win more games for this team? That's something we still have to see. They were able to make the playoffs last year in their first year with Nick Sirianni, which was pretty good. They got absolutely massacred by the Bucks, but it's Tom Brady. They're able to defend the Super Bowl champions. It happens. But you got A.J. Brown, got Devontae Smith, just made a great trade for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson last week. Defense is looking good. Offensive line is looking good. Running backs is looking good. They've got everything they need right now. And a team where the number one team, and the Cowboys took a massive step back. This is a year for them that I believe they're going to win the division. They got 9 wins. I'm going to give them 2 more. I'm going to say they win 11 this year. This is all going off what Jalen Hurts can do. They will live and die by Jalen Hurts this year. This team can not meet expectations because Jalen Hurts is bad, or this team can exceed expectations because he's better than we think he will. So that's going to be something that's going to be key. And I actually picked the Cowboys up into the Smith injury. That's a big blow to the offensive line for the rest of the season. So I'm going to put my money on the Philadelphia Eagles to win this division. The other two teams in this league, in this division, not really much to talk about. The Washington football team is now the Washington Commanders. Finally changed their name. They've got Carson Wentz, and I believe his last stop as a starting quarterback before he becomes a backup. Can he do it? Can he keep his job as a starter? Or is Mr. Taylor Heineke going to get his job back and be full-time? That's something we got to find out. Riverboat Ron is back. A big blow to this defense. Chase Young is out indefinitely. We don't know when he's going to be coming back. Still recovering from that ACL tear. But this team, they won 7 games last year. I am taking the under. I am taking the under on this team. I have no belief whatsoever in Carson Wentz. I think he has nothing left in the tank. It's unfortunate because he does not look like the quarterback he was before that ACL tear, and he has just not been able to bounce back. And the New York Giants, they won 4 games last year. I'm taking the under on that. I think they win in 2. I think the number 1 pick in the NFL draft next season will be going to the New York Football Giants. Daniel Jones is not good. And trust me, if anybody knows never to draft a quarterback from a basketball school, it is your boy. And Saquon, I love Saquon. I think them needs to cook, man. I don't think he has anything left in the tank. I mean, you brought Brian Daboll over from the Bills to be a head coach. They didn't even pick up Daniel Jones' option. So I think that my take is that Tyrod Taylor will be the starter by week 8. And I think this team is going to be god-awful. But I do have the Eagles win that division. Now let's go to the division of the Chicago Bears, the NFC North. Now, I won't divulge too much into the Bears. Of course, you can listen to 79th and Hallis for each and all, for all your Bears news. Follow 79th and Hallis on Twitter. So all y'all know how I feel about that team. You can watch our preview. But I will say this about the Bears. A lot of people underestimating this team. Rightfully so. They're coming in with a new situation, new general manager, new coach, second-year quarterback, everything new for this team. Now, I've been around this team. I've been at camp, been at practices, been around the guys, been in the locker room talking to the guys. This is a very confident group. And I think that they're going to surprise some people. What I mean by surprise is, no, I'm not picking this team to go to the playoffs. No, I'm not picking this team to win double-digit wins. But this 2-3 win shit that I'm seeing in these these rankings and on Twitter and on national media, I think that's crazy. There's only one way that happens to me. If Justin Fields gets a serious injury. As bad as the Chicago Bears have been in their 100+ year history, they have only won 3 games or less one time. One time. These have been historically bad offenses. And they have a very soft schedule. They only play I think like 2 elite quarterbacks all season. Play a good quarterback in just Kirk Cousins. Very soft schedule. They got an opportunity to win some more games. I got them in 7 wins. The Vikings, they've got one of the best wide receivers in football in Justin Jefferson. They got a real good defense. Got a new offensive coordinator. And I think they're going to be good this year. I think they're going to be good. I got them as one of my wild card teams, which we'll get into in a second. But there's only so far that Kirk Cousins can take you. So, Detroit Lions, I think a lot of y'all, and I mean a lot of y'all, are letting Hard Knocks send you off. This team won 3 games last year, and I think it's going to be around the same this year. I like Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell is a very fun coach. He's a real football guy. I like what I saw from him on Hard Knocks, and I thought Hard Knocks was very entertaining this year, which Hard Knocks has not been over the last couple of years. But this team's still not that good. It's not that good. And look who their quarterback is. Jared Goff. I live in Los Angeles. I've seen Jared Goff pretty much every game with this dude. He's not good. He's not good whatsoever. And at the end of the day, they're still the Lions. For the last 4 or 5 years, the Lions will be better people expect, and they're not. Until they prove to me that they're not the Lions, I'm going to have them at the bottom of this division. But at the end of the day, this all goes through Green Bay. At the end of the day, this division will continue to go through anti-vax boy Aaron Rodgers. It just is what it is. You got to come C12 if you want this division. What he said, he owns the Bears. I got mad at it because it was true. But he don't just own the Bears. He owned the Vikings and he owned the Lions. This is his division. Now, he did lose Devontae Adams. He did lose Marquez Valdez-Scantling. But I think this defense on paper can be one of the best defenses in the league. And He will be throwing to Menards employees. Let's be very clear. But maybe even I could put up 500 yards in the season when Aaron Rodgers throwing him. So with that being said, I don't think they're going to win 13 games. I think we're going to scale that back a little bit. I think this team will only win 10 games, but it'll be enough to win this mediocre division. But as far as winning a championship, I think they blew their load last year when they lost to San Francisco. I don't think that this team is going to be even close to winning a championship this year, but they will win this division. Now let's go to the NFC South, which was won last year by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady and them. Tom Brady and them, as Deion Sanders likes to say. Last year they finished 13-4. I do think I'm gonna take that win total down. I'm gonna have them back about 11 because I have serious questions about that offensive line. I think the defense will be very good. And then the running game will be very good. Now we've got my man Bunny Colvin coming in, being the head coach. Todd Bowles will be the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. Well deserved. Love to see black coaches take their jobs. Byron Leftwich is returning as offensive coordinator. So, and of course, they've got the GOAT. So I feel like the offense will be fine, but I feel like Tom Brady's going to be on his ass a lot this year. That offensive line is beat up. They got Mike Evans. They signed Julio Jones. And that's going to be something that's really under the radar. What's that going to be like? And so there's a lot of question marks. I think they'll be fine to win this division. I think they'll be in the title hunt just because they've got the GOAT. But I think New Orleans is going to be on their ass. I really like what they're doing in New Orleans. Jameis year 2. Jameis looked good when he was healthy last year. Now, of course, they don't have Sean Payton. So we got to really see what this offense will be like without Sean Payton. But I do feel like this is something that they can build on. This is something that they can build on right away. And that's something we're going to look forward to, man. So we're going to take a quick break real quick, and we're going to come back and pay some bills real quick.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
And we are back. We are back. I just want, since we're live, I just want to be very transparent with my people watching the show. I'm doing this in my mother's living room, and my cousin rang the doorbell, and I'm going to answer the doorbell when I'm here. But we are back. We're back to get back into my AFC, NFC South division preview. Now I was saying about the New Orleans Saints was that I think they're going to be much better this year. They've got Jameis Winston back. And I feel like with that defense, they added Tyrann Mathieu to it. And I think that that's going to be something that, I feel like they're going to be my sleeper team. And that's something that they can threaten Tom Brady, but I don't think it's going to be something where they're going to be able to overtake him because we still got to see can Jameis, do this full time. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a big question mark. How are they going to be without Sean Payton? So I'm really interested to see how that's going to be, but I do have them as one of my wild card teams. And this is going to be something going forward that they're going to be a nice little threat. And they always beat the Buccaneers in the regular season. I think they swept in the last 2 years. So that's going to be real interesting. Those games, I feel like we're going to decide this division. So moving right along to the other teams in this division, the Atlanta Falcons, it's not much to say about them. It's not much to say about Atlanta Falcons. They got Marcus Mariota after trading Matt Ryan. This is also a team that, I feel like they're in a rebuilding phase right now. 7-10 last year. I'm taking the under all the way under this year. I think they're probably going to be sitting maybe around 4 wins. And I know I said I wasn't going to get win totals, but I said a lot of shit. But they're going to be bad. They're going to finish at the bottom of this division. And the Carolina Panthers, slightly intrigued by the Panthers. What I mean by slightly intrigued, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, nothing like that. I don't even, but Baker Mayfield, new start. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Baker's a bad quarterback. I think that Baker is the definition of mediocre. But you can win games with mediocre. We just named, Kirk Cousins. We just named guys like that who are not great, but they're not bad. And I think he has an opportunity to at least give this Panthers team some wins. They got 5 last year. I think they can win about 8. I'm going to go with 8 for this Panthers team. I think that Baker has a little chip on his shoulder because he knows that if this doesn't work out, I might be cooked. So this is something that I feel like, they're going to be entertaining. Can, Christian McCaffrey be healthy for a full season? We know how great he is. He's possibly the best back in football when he's healthy. So that's going to be a question mark there. But anything's better than Sam Darnold. And we do hope that Sam Darnold gets better. Hope he stays healthy, get back quickly. We don't wish, injury anybody. But I do feel like this is something that they'll be a little more competitive. But they'll finish third. But I do think this is the Buccaneers division to lose. Now let's go on to the last division in the NFC right here. We're gonna go with the NFC West. The Los Angeles Rams won this division last year, 12-5. I think they'll win this division once again. I'm gonna put them at about 12 wins, probably 12-13. They've got an incredibly tough division, incredibly tough schedule. Little question marks about Matthew Stafford. He had off-season surgery on his elbow, and even Sean McVay, and by the way, shout out to Sean McVay for getting that extension today. Good, get your money out there. Sean McVay, said that, it was compared to a baseball injury, which made me a little nervous about that. And Matthew Stafford finally shut me up last year. He shut me up. I'm giving him his tops. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football. He's got a great team this year. If he can stay healthy, I think they'll repeat as back-to-back division champions. And I say they'll stay in the 12-13 win range. Bobby Wagner, Allen Robinson. It's going to be a fun year out there in LA. Arizona Cardinals, 11-6 last year. Kyler Murray went through a whole little thing this year about his contract during the offseason, which he did get. Salute to Mr. Murray for getting that contract. But I'm just not an Arizona Cardinals guy. I don't believe in Cliff Kingsbury. I feel like he was black. He got fired a long time ago. And I do think this is a team just like I said with the Chargers, where they got to convince me, can they play football for an entire season? You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be something that we got to see. And I'll put them finishing second again. Just because the other two teams, we got Seattle losing Russell Wilson, Seattle losing Bobby Wagner. They did re-sign my man DK Metcalf, salute to him. But they got Geno Smith playing the quarterback. I mean, there's really nothing to say about this team. They won 7 wins last year. They're going to be worse than that this year. And then you got the San Francisco 49ers, who the Chicago Bears play this week at Soldier Field. Going to be interested to see that game. They've got a little QB thing going on right now. Trey Lance will be the starter, but obviously he didn't have the best preseason. He didn't have the best camp. And now they brought back Jimmy Garoppolo. And this is a team that has a situation where now there's a lot of pressure on Lance. There's already enough pressure on him to begin with, but now there's really a lot of pressure on Trey Lance because this is a team that is one of the oldest teams in the league. They were dropped interception away from going back to the Super Bowl last year, their second Super Bowl in 3 seasons. And now you got this veteran team where they're not going to be ready and waiting on a rookie to get his stuff together, man. So I think they're going to just barely miss the wild card. I'm not a Trey Lance believer, and I do believe Jimmy G will start sometime this season, not because Trey Lance was benched. I think that he'll start because I think Trey Lance will probably get injured. So it's going to be a little thing. What's the locker room going to be like? He did not get voted as one of the captains, which I thought spoke volumes. And, especially, one of the guys said, he's a rookie to us, which was kind of funny. This is going to be something to pay attention to. John Lynch might have actually built him a bigger situation out there in the Niners. So those are my division winners, man. So now we're going to go to our wild card picks on who I got. Of course, we know there's 14 teams in these NFL playoffs, Super Wild Card Weekend, and these are the 6 teams I have. We're going to start off with the NFC. I'm going to have the Vikings as a 5th seed. in the wild card. I'm gonna have the Saints at 6, and I think the Cowboys barely get it. I was really debating who was going to get that that 7th spot between the who I got between the Cowboys and I was going between the Cowboys and the Niners, but I believe in Dak more than the QB situation in San Francisco. So I'm going to go with them to get that last wild card. And then over in AFC, I got 2 AFC West teams making a wild card appearance. I got the Chargers, and I've got the Raiders with the 5th and 6th seed. And at that 7th seed, I think that the Baltimore Ravens will find their way in there. I was debating between them and Miami, but I believe in Lamar Jackson way more than I believe in Tua Tagovailoa, as Ross says. But I think that we're going to get a motivated Lamar Jackson, if he doesn't get this contract. I think he's going to go out there and prove that y'all should pay me. So those are my wild card teams. And a Super Bowl prediction, I think tonight we get a Super Bowl preview. Rams and Bills. I'm going to say everybody and their mama is picking the Bills to win the Super Bowl. Like, everybody is picking them to win the Super Bowl, man. And this is something that I debated back and forth. And actually, I said on our football preview episode on 2 Minute Drill, I picked the Bills to win. But I'm changing my pick. And this is why I'm changing my pick. Because I was watching Rich Eisen's show last night. Been looking at some of the previews across the league. Everybody is picking the fucking Bills. It's like it's not that it's like a sexy pick or they don't deserve to be the favorite, because on paper they should be. But I can't remember the last team who won the Super Bowl or season went well when they were the overwhelming favorite. Something always goes wrong. And I feel like, as crazy as it is, nobody talking about the Rams. So I'm going to say it. I think the Rams go back-to-back. I am picking the Rams to win the Super Bowl, win back-to-back championships, first time in 18 seasons. I think Matthew Stafford wins Super Bowl MVP, and I think there's going to be back-to-back parades in Los Angeles, man. So those are my predictions, how I think the division is going to go, but it's the NFL. We really never know. So it's going to be something that we're looking for and interested to pay attention to going forward. But we're going to wrap this episode up with my predictions for week one. For week one, we're going to keep a tally this season so we can see what exactly, I was right, what exactly I was wrong at, man. So let's start off with tonight, the first game kicking off at SoFi Stadium, the new NFL on NBC crew, which is going to be Mike Tirico, the guy Chris Collinsworth. Of course, we know Al Michaels moved on to Amazon. He will be doing Thursday Night Football with Kirk Herbstreit. So the legendary duo has been broken up. But even though Mike Tirico thinks he's Italian and he's really black, he's still a good announcer. So he'll be good to hold down. Shout out to the Queen Maria Taylor. She's going to be anchoring the Sunday Night Football pre- and post-game show with her, Chris Sims, Tony Dungy, Roddy Harrison. So shout out to her for landing that big position. But tonight, Bills and Rams, even though I do have the Rams win the Super Bowl, the Bills win tonight. The Bills crash the championship, banner party night. The guys get their rings. The guys get the banner. I'm pretty sure all them niggas going to be at motherfucking Highlight Room or Delilah or whatever fucking club Pappy be going to tonight with their championship rings. But they will lose tonight. The Buffalo Bills will be taking this off. Let's go to the Sunday schedule, man. We got the Saints and the Falcons. We'll be kicking off in Atlanta. I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints. One of the most bitter rivalries in the NFL, especially on Twitter. Those fan bases hate each other, but the Saints will be kicking off with a W. Now, we got the Bears and the Niners. I will not be giving my pick on that on this show. Of course, y'all know all my Bears picks. I stay for our preview podcast on our Patreon on Fridays. Me and my brother Flo will be breaking that down. We're going to have a little special treat for y'all on this week. This week's episode will be free because we got a special treat for y'all. So my pick for that, I'll give y'all tomorrow on the podcast. So look out for that. But we got Bengals and Steelers in Cincinnati. I'm going to go with the Bengals to win that. We've got Eagles and Lions. Like I said, the Lions are going to be god-awful. The Eagles are going to get off to a nice start on their campaign with a win over Detroit. Dolphins, Patriots, a nice little NFC battle in Miami. Hopefully the Dolphins are wearing them clean white jerseys. I think two of them get the job because I do feel like the Pats are going to take a step back. They're going to be in Miami. It's going to be hot as hell. And I just have no faith in that Patriots offense. And we got Ravens and Jets, the Joe Flacco revenge game, which will be funny. Like, I could see the Jets win this game and, like, Flacco has, like, 3 touchdowns. That would be some funny week one type shit. But I think Lamar's coming for next this year. And you know me, I don't think Lamar's the best thrower. I think Lamar's an amazing football player. I think he's an elite football player. But I think he's even gonna shut me up with some throws this year. I'm really expecting a angry Lamar Jackson this year. So I'm gonna go with the Ravens for this one. We've got a skip game that you will not be watching unless you're only gonna see when they're in the red zone. I don't even know how many times these two teams will actually be in the red zone. I'm gonna go with the Washington Commanders over the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. Panthers and Browns. Another interesting schedule game. Shout out to Mr. Roger Goodell. We've got Baker Mayfield going against his old team. He will be in Carolina. The fans out there going to be rowdy. I'm pretty sure Steph Curry be there because he's the only fucking Panthers fan we know of. They're going to get the dub. Not only are they going to get the dub, the Panthers are going to play well. I think we're going to get Oklahoma type Baker Mayfield this Sunday. So I'm going to go with the Panthers on that one. Colts and Texans, another skip game. Going with the Colts. Should be a good game for Matt Ryan. Titans and Giants, another skip game, but I'm going with the Titans. Vikings and Packers is going to be a good one. It's going to kick off in Minnesota. I think these two are going to go down the wire for this division. Of course, I picked the Packers. I think the Vikings win this week. They usually split every year. This one's at home in Minnesota. I think they split and they jump on the Packers early. Chiefs and Cardinals, entertaining game. I'm going with the Chiefs. Chargers Raiders. Oh my God, this is going to be such a fun game. All these AFC West games are going to be fun. We're going to get a barn burner. This is going to be a rematch of that Week 18 game last year that they got the Raiders to the playoffs. I think the Chargers, they'll be at home in Inglewood at SoFi. I'm going with the Chargers to win this one. Bucks and Cowboys. Sunday Night Football. By the way, if you're in Chicago, pull up to Haymarket Pub and Brewery, 737 West Randolph Street. I will be hosting the Barber's Chair Network Week 1 Sunday Night Football watch party. Come pull up. Come try the new Scotch Ale beer, which is going to be a special Barber's Chair Network brew. Come out, get that, fuck with your boy, get some food, get some good eats, and we're going to see the GOAT, Tom Brady, get a dub over them Cowboys guys in Dallas, man. And then, of course, we got the final game of the week, which will be Monday Night Football. Another good schedule, even though I think this game is going to be shit. It's good scheduling because the first game of Russell Wilson in a Broncos uniform will be in Seattle. And they will be beating the Seattle Seahawks, man. So those are my picks. We'll see on Monday if I'm right, man. So we're going to wrap this up with our first Goofy Mog of the year. This one is not an NFL pick. I'm giving a Goofy Mog to a guy I'm actually a huge fan of. He was one of my favorite basketball players. I'm giving the Goofy Mog of the week for Kevin Durant for wasting everybody motherfucking time this offseason and not knowing that you signed a 4-year contract and your ass ain't going nowhere. Like, this is just... and I love player empowerment, even though I feel like it's getting a little bit out of control. I understand if you got a year or two left on year, but you got 4. Not only do you got 4 years left on your deal, you signed it last year. Everything that you asked this front office and this organization, they've done for you. You said you wanted Kyrie Irving. They signed that bozo. You said you wanted Steve Nash with no coaching experience. I remember the quote, "We really can coach ourselves." You signed him. They signed him. Now you want to get rid of him? Fact of the matter is this. That this dude, Kevin Durant, just needs to put up, shut up, go out there and deliver. Go out there, at least win a damn playoffs is. Would you let Jason Tatum, who got away with robbery all postseason, what you allow him to do in that first round, you allowed Jaylen Brown to do in that first round was despicable. When healthy, I believe this man is a top 2, maybe even best player in the NBA. He needs to step up. You want to come to this team. You want to leave that amazing situation you had in Golden State to come here. So you did it. You made your bed, now lay in it, man. I'm tired of hearing about it. You wasted everybody's time. You was holding up trades, holding up free agency. It was fucking ridiculous, man. So I don't want to hear nothing about Kevin Durant. I don't want to hear nothing about Kyrie Irving. I don't want to hear nothing about the Brooklyn Nets. Go play basketball and leave us the hell alone. So that's what I got for y'all today on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It's been really good. It's fun. I'm glad to be back. I appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back on Monday. It's probably going to be a later show on Monday because I will be at Bears practice. So it will be a later show, but we'll be live once again. If you missed this episode, you can just go back and watch this video and enjoy, man. Of course, I'm your host, Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at BarberChairScott. Follow HNB Media at HNB Media TV on Twitter and at HNB Media on Instagram. Shout out to my super producers, Young Pat Vito, Pavi. You can follow him on Twitter at PaviReal. My guy, Thomas, TPJ. Follow him at Old TPJ. Shout out to everybody, Hoops and Brews. Follow the Barber's Chair Network at Barber's Chair Net. Subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. And, of course, log into the website, thebcnet.com. Hopefully, I see y'all this Sunday at the Barber's Chair Network watch party. I will be at Soldier Field breaking down Niners and Bears. Look out for that post-game show, man. So we holla at y'all, man. We out.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna